All right. For more on the outlook for housing, let's bring in Daryl Fairweather, chief economist at Redfin. Daryl, great to have you with us. I understand that this proposal is up in the air. We don't have a lot of details. But what do you think this would do to the housing market if there were no capital gains taxes on the gains from primary residences?
Yeah, it's clear to me whether this would have a large impact. Like if you are somebody who is really paying attention to capital gains tax, you would want to sell when you're approaching that current limit of having $500,000 for a married couple. It's about half that for a single person. But once you're reaching that limit, that's when there's this big incentive to sell and to buy again, because then you can reset and your capital gains resets as well. If you extend the limit forever, then I'm not sure, maybe people will want to stay in their homes even longer because now there's no downside to staying past when your value has gone up by more than that $500,000 amount. So it's not clear to me this would help the housing market. If anything, I would like to see them reduce taxes on improvements to homes, like if you're putting in an ADU, and that's what increases the value of your home. It doesn't make sense that you should be penalized for that when we need as many housing units as possible.
That's interesting. What is the state of the housing market so far? It does seem like perhaps it's becoming a little bit more balanced. I mean, according to your competitor Zillow, 26.6% of listings saw a price cut in June, and that's the highest in a June since 2018. I mean, it does seem like the market is rebalancing a bit.
It is turning into a buyer's market. There are simply more homes for sale, and there are buyers who want them. That's especially true in Florida and Texas and other states that built a lot during the pandemic. And that means that as a buyer, you can negotiate a better deal. And if you don't even like what is for sale, you can go look at the rental market, which has been pretty stable. So overall, if you're in that first-time home buyer or buyer category, at least you have more negotiating power, even though affordability is still quite poor.
Daryl, it's Karen. Thanks for being on. So how much do prices, I know it's different in each part of the country, but how much do prices really need to come in before we really start to see more transactions happening?
I think we'll start to see more transactions happening later this year because we're starting to see prices come down. We're starting to see sellers wake up and realize that they need to meet buyers where they're at. And that's what's really slowing down transactions right now is sellers and buyers just not being on the same page. So now that we're seeing sellers react, hopefully that will facilitate more deals, and they'll happen at lower prices, the prices the buyers are setting.
So, Daryl, what puts those people on the same page? Is it an unemployment rate that moves precipitously to the upside, or is it the much anticipated, much hoped for yields coming down on the back end of the curve?
I think it's just homes sitting on the market and sellers realizing that their home isn't selling at the prices that they're putting it at. And with comps coming down, that means that when you're looking at what you could sell, you're seeing, what your neighbor sold for. And that's a wake up for people. It's just reality. So I think it just takes a little while for reality to settle in for sellers.